Hey everyone, and welcome to Key Source. I'm Cassie Johnson with Key Realty John Yoder team. And today I'm super excited because I get to introduce you to the newest member of our team, Nia Harrington. Nia joined our team as an administrative assistant, but she's also a licensed real estate agent with tons of experience. And she's going to share a little bit about her history with the real estate industry with us today. So let's get started. Hey Nia, how are you today?
Hi, Cassie. I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing well. I'm super excited to be talking with you today and hearing a little bit more about your story. So, you know what? Let's just start from the beginning, how we always like to start, and ask what first prompted you to choose a career in real estate?
To be honest with you, Cassie, I grew up in real estate. My father had his own real estate brokerage, so I have a kind of an advantage there. And I was always engaged in some
Hmm.
kind of way, even at a young age, like at 6. I started stuffing the little envelopes for the flyers, and that was my first negotiation. He said, "Hey, I'll give you 3 cents per envelope." And when I was unhappy, the next time he came around, I said, "Hey, can I get a quarter?" He's like, "No, I'll give you a nickel." So
Awesome.
yeah, and then he let me work in the summer times when I got into high school, just as admin things. And of course, when I graduated and as an adult, he hired me on as a office manager. And then he's the one that actually encouraged me and helped me get into getting my real estate license. And it was just an honor and privilege to work under him with all that experience and wisdom. He was in business for about 26 years before he passed away.
Wow, Nia, that is really cool to hear. Like, I really love that you got to work with your dad. And it sounds like you have like a lifetime of experience in this.
Basically.
That's really, and it's a unique opportunity to be able to work with your dad like that. So could you share with us what about his business inspired you the most, and how has that shaped you and the way that you handle your business?
Yes, a few things that I would definitely take away and keep with me, to go on as his legacy is one, education. He was big on education, both for himself, his real estate agent, and his clients. So I'm the same way. I want to make sure I'm up on everything I can learn about real estate, anything new that might come out. And I also want to make sure my clients are well educated before they make their final decision. The other thing that I learned from him is just how he handled all of his clients with integrity and honesty. Real estate is a big investment. So I definitely want to make sure we build that trust and that they feel comfortable at the end of the day with the decision that they're going to make. And lastly, he always said that make sure you have a big team because unfortunately I won't be able to answer every single question. So I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a mortgage lender. So make sure I have a good team who can answer those questions. And I'm glad to be on the John Yoga team. It's a great team. So I'm just really proud to be here. Definitely feel like I can carry my father's legacy with this team.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. So integrity is a big deal. Collaboration, and education. That's really great, Nia. It's clear that you have a very rich family history in this industry, and you're carrying on that legacy of professionalism and integrity so well. Now, you've also worked prior to joining our team for a few years in property management. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about that and how that has shaped you as an agent?
Yes, it definitely shaped me. It definitely encouraged me to go back to sales as far as real estate, getting that back into that part of real estate because I grew up that way, rent as last case scenario. So for me in those few years, be able to hear people from the renter side, I learned that a lot of people don't know that they can buy. So any given month, I might have anywhere between 20 to 50 leases I have to renew, and just hearing their feedback. A lot of them don't know anything about the home buying process. So what I think I like about us is doing those videos and getting that information out there. Like I said, education for me is huge. Half the time I'm really wanting to tell them like, you know, you could buy, right? So making sure people are educated. That's one thing I definitely learned is how much education is not out there, or people just don't even know where to look. And then the other thing I learned is a lot of people don't read what they sign. So as far as contracts, leases, unfortunately, they don't always read it, or they just might glance at it. And then how much they put into the leasing agent or whoever is guiding them. So even though I hear our leasing team tell them those certain things, by the time they get back to me, whether they just forgot or some people are honest and say, no, I didn't read my lease, making sure I go back over with them saying, hey, do you really understand what you're signing up for? Because that's really important. So knowing that, hey, I'm taking on this responsibility, this person is really relying on me. I want to make sure our clients are educated and know what they're getting into.
Yeah,
So that's what I
that's
learned from that experience.
cool. Yeah, and I can tell just from watching you interact with people in the office that, yeah, you're very good at helping people feel comfortable and confident in what they're signing. And I think that's a really great characteristic of a real estate agent. Because you're right, a lot of people maybe don't read what they're signing or don't understand what they're signing, and they need to
Okay.
feel comfortable to ask questions. So yeah, you do a great job with that. So another thing I want to bring up, because I just think it's so cool. You and your husband own a business. This is something that we've got in common, and I want to hear about your comic book store, and also how your experience shared with your husband in the retail industry affects or informs the way that you do business in real estate.
Yes, as you mentioned, me and my husband both own Crazy Comics that's in the Gahanna, New Albany area. That adventure was a fun adventure. We've been open for 3 years now. And what I learned from that whole experience is one, retail is not too different than real estate. People go in there for maybe a character that they know, like Superman or Spider Man, and then they see all these other characters and we're there to help them say, hey, what do you want to know about those characters? Kind of same thing with real estate. You come in with, you know, your idea list, your dream house, and then maybe as going through searches and look at other homes, you might find something that list may change. So I think in that aspect, they're pretty similar. And
Hmm.
actually opening the business, what I learned is from a commercial standpoint, you definitely need a hire professional. A lot of people are trying to find ways to do it themselves. It's very important to hire a professional. My husband is lucky that I have a real estate background. Because when it came to the lease, he had somebody he can turn to and say, hey, can you look over this? And then what I didn't understand, of course, is like, hey, we need to hire a lawyer and then make sure we got the best deal. Especially when it comes to commercial, I learned that it's different even with residential. Commercial, you have more flexibility as far as negotiating. When you go to like rent an apartment or something, this is what it is, take it or leave it. And commercial, there's a little bit more flexibility. And there's certain things you probably don't even think about when it comes to commercial, like what are the utilities? Are you splitting the water bill amongst everybody in your shopping center? And then you're going to look at your space a little bit differently. Okay, who's in my shopping center? You know, do I have a dental office? Do I have nail shop? Do I have a bakery or something in there that would affect your bottom line as far as your, you know, monthly bills? So stuff like that you probably don't really think about. I learned like, oh, I learned to look at stuff a little bit differently as far as the commercial standpoint. And I just get nervous now. I think about it, it's like, hey, it was an honor that my husband trusted me with his vision and bringing it to light. But also think about all the other business owners who are just now coming up and looking for their space and they don't have nobody that represents them. Or they
Hmm.
even don't know that they can hire somebody to represent them. They just see a sign on a building for rent and they just talk to that person, not realizing that person may not have their best interest in mind.
Hmm.
Those are really great learning experiences.
Okay, yeah. So your skills and experience can help both residential clients and commercial clients. And I think that's really cool. That's awesome. Well, Nia, I can just say from experience working with you that you're incredibly skilled in this industry. Like you've taken all of our systems and made them so much better, and we're so thankful to have you. You're such a hard worker, a very creative thinker, and I know that your all of your skills. You're so organized too. Like it's awesome. I am raving because we're full, but all of these skills I know are going to serve your clients extremely well. So yeah, and seriously, thank you so much for taking the time to share a little bit of your story with us. And yeah, I just appreciate you being here.
Thank you, Cassie. It was great to be here.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, that is all for this episode of Key Source. If you're interested in contacting Mia or anyone else on our team, feel free to visit our website, johnyoderteam.com. And also, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channels. We do this weekly video blog key source for your benefit to give you valuable information and resources. We also have our buyer education series up on YouTube, so feel free to check that out as well. And yeah, we will see you guys next time.